Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have qualified therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, let's get to some questions. So I didn't answer questions from last week's video, not this week's video, but last week's video, so I want to answer those. All right, after too many flying monkeys, how can we feel that we might get to feel safe enough with some people so that we can learn to really know each other? Do we have to hide our important things? So here's the deal. Trust is learned, or trust is earned, and it's learned, and the person has got to do things to show you that they are trustworthy. So in other words, you're not going to share your deepest, darkest secrets with somebody immediately, because remember, narcissists like to mine people for information. They like to get as much information as they possibly can and then use it against them at a later date. So when you are getting together with somebody, a friend or coworker or whatever, you're going to be watching for behaviors. You're going to be watching behaviors. You're going to be watching behaviors. So really, behaviors give the person away. A narcissist cannot hide their behaviors, not from the observant observer, and they can't hide them from the average Joe for long because they just can't. So you're going to watch behaviors. You're going to watch how they treat people. You're going to watch, are they trustworthy? Is this someone that I can trust? And it's going to be learning to trust your own gut. So learning to trust yourself, first and foremost, is going to be your best weapon in knowing whether or not to trust somebody else. So that's going to be working on self-esteem with the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, or You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. It's also going to be working on The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, or Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. So it's going to be doing that so that you learn to trust your gut, not your head, not your heart. These two guys tell stories like nobody's business, but the gut. Listen to your gut. And when you are learning or testing the waters to see if you can trust somebody, watch their behavior. Watch how they handle maybe slightly sensitive topics. Do they make fun of you? Do they poke at you? Do they share information that they should not be sharing, etc., etc.? So yeah, that's what you're going to watch for. So it does take time, but the first person you need to trust out of everybody is you. You've got to work on you. You've got to work on trusting your own gut so that your gut can tell you whether this person is trustworthy or not. And you watch the behavior. How do they behave? How are they with you? How are they with other people? Are they trustworthy? Do they handle, sensitive information well, or do they use it against other people? So you watch how they talk to people. You watch how they behave with other people, that kind of thing. So in the beginning, yeah, you're not going to trust anybody. You're just not. You're just not, because there's no reason to. We've had plenty of reason to not trust other people. So it's a process. It is. Get with a good therapist and start working on those self-esteem issues and those boundary issues and listening to your gut. Trusting your own gut. Trust your own intuition. That is the best weapon you have in dealing with possible disordered people, is trusting your own gut. So yeah, I hope that answered the question. I've cut off my ex, Gray Rock, because of kids-only emails, but I am still so hurt by the toxic emails and using kids as pawns, and kids don't see it. Any advice on how to work on those triggers? So the whole goal of a narcissist or an abuser is to get under your skin. That's really what they want. They want you to be reactive. They want you to be hurt. They want you to respond. They want you to think of them. They want to be on your mind 24/7, and they need to be taken seriously. Oh, serious. Oh, gravitas. Oh, and the thing of it is you've got to get to the point when they send those 14-page redonkulous emails. Oh my God, eyes are itching like crazy. Those 14-page ridiculous emails where they're just like, you did this and you did that and you're a horrible parent and blah, 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 and things that don't have anything to do with the kids. You seriously have got to get to the point where you start laughing at it because it's ridiculous. It's your ex. It doesn't matter anymore. Yes, you are parallel parenting. You're not co-parenting. You are parallel parenting, okay? And they want you to take it seriously. They want you to be upset. You got to start laughing at it. You really, honest to God do, because they want you to be miserable. They want you to be unhappy. They want you to be upset. They want you to be thinking about them and ruminating about it. And, oh, I should say this. And, oh, I'm going to do that. And, oh, that kind of thing. And then, of course, you have the extra added, annoyance that you cannot badmouth your ex because that's going to backfire on you. Trust me on this one. What you are going to be is honest with the kids when they start asking questions. You're not going to say, oh, mom or dad is, this, that, and the other thing and a horrible person. What you're going to go is the behavior is not healthy, it's not normal, and I'm not going to put up with it. So do you see where I'm going with that? You just stick to facts, stick to facts, stick to facts. So what you're going to do is you're going to get to the point where you have to remind yourself when those 14-page emails come in that are you guns, they are talking about themselves. They may have convinced themselves that they're aiming it at you and it's all you, but in reality, there is a part of them that knows that the venom that they are spewing is really about them. They're miserable, guys. They are miserable. They are absolutely miserable, miserable, miserable people. And because healthy, normal people don't do that. Healthy, normal people want everybody to be happy around them. They want people to enjoy the moment and enjoy life. Narcissists don't. So you've got to get to the point where you're like, this is not about me. This is about them. Stop taking it personally. This is our big mistake when we're dealing with an abusive ex, is that we take everything they say personally because that's what they want us to do. You have to realize they project. So every single thing that they're saying, all the you guns, okay, 2 fingers pointed out, but 6 pointed back at them. Wonder who they're really talking about. There you go. It's them. And you got to get to the point where you have your sense of humor about it. I mean, really, how pathetic. How pathetic that you guys are divorced, you've got kids, and instead of caring about the well-being of the children, they're more interested in landing insults. That's pathetic. It's like, wow, good luck being a human being. Hello. And you just start laughing at it. If it's really bothering you, write and burn. Write and burn. Write and burn. Do not send. Do not send. Do not send. Write and burn. Get it out of your head. Get it on the paper. Trot it out to the barbecue. Read it out loud once. Burn it. And at the most important part is, at the very end of that, they have no power here. You have no power here. I will not allow you to ruin my night. Have a nice life. Go fuck yourself sideways with an unlubricated baseball bat, preferably one with splinters. Trot it out to the barbecue. Burn it. Burn it. Yeah, because they don't have any power over you anymore. They think they do. They want you thinking of them 24/7. Don't give it to them. Find some humor in it. So, for example, one of my clients just, like I said, a 14-page diatribe. One of my phones is going off, sorry. A 14-page diatribe about how horrible of a parent they were and this, that, and the other thing. And, and finally, after months of taking everything personally, the client was able to finally go, this is ridiculous. This is really stupid because this is everything that the ex did. Yes, because they project. So find the humor in it. Tell them to go fuck themselves, not to them, but in the letter, you're going to write and burn. Trot it out to the barbecue. Burn it. They have no power here. It's like dealing with a demon. You have no power here. It's like they don't. They have no power here unless you give it to them. So yeah, don't give it to them. So that's my answer to that. Question. Can borderline personality child be a product of narcissistic parents? Abso-fucking-lutely. Borderline is born of trauma. Narcissistic parents are nothing but trauma. So a child born in that environment is going to have CPTSD. They're going to develop maladaptive ways of dealing with the abuse or the neglect, which aka abandonment. So freaking lutely. You show me a kid that's got borderline personality, and when I say kid, I mean adult or whatever, because everybody's younger than I am now. But the point being is, you show me somebody who's got borderline, I will show you somebody who has had a parent or two that were completely disordered and were abusive and or neglectful, because normal kids do not go on to develop abnormal coping mechanisms, because a healthy parent will teach the child how to cope healthfully and not with the maladaptive ways that borderline personality disordered people learn in order to survive. Borderline personality disorder is born of trauma. So yes, narcissists are nothing but trauma. They are nothing but chaos and harm and hurt. And yes, a child in that environment is going to have CPTSD, and they are going to start adopting maladaptive ways of dealing with the abuse and the neglect. So there that is. DBT is a great form of therapy for that. The Borderline Survival Guide by Chapman and Gratz is a great book. Starting to work on CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. That's another great book. The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. That's another great book. Get with a really good DBT, dialectic behavioral therapist, and start working on the maladaptive behaviors. If you catch it, you can change it. Once somebody has reached that malignant part where they're now like enjoying the chaos and enjoying the drama, there's very little hope for them at that point. But down towards the lower end of the spectrum, when they're like, yeah, mom and dad were crazy, I've got some crazy behavior, it's not healthy, yeah, you can work on that. So get with a good DBT therapist, get those books, start working it. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. What is a healthy mind like without intrusive thoughts and memories? Would you have concentration and energy to live? What would that be like? It is fantastic. So when I was living with my parents, it was chaos. My dad was crazy. He was probably both a narcissist and a borderline, or he was a borderline that mostly expressed it through narcissism. Because remember, borderline has got traits of all the major personality disorders. And so living in that environment, you become very frightened, and you're living with post-traumatic stress disorder, complex because it happens over and over and over again. And so there's intrusive thoughts. There's, scary thoughts, scary intrusive feelings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you start working on that, it's peace. It is glorious. I can't tell you how nice it is to be able to sit down and just be literally at peace. Like, there's no fear. There's no, oh my God, 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 shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, 24/7. Now, in the beginning, when you're working on this internal critic, hell yeah, it's going to be like, thank you for your input, shut the fuck up. Why? Because I say so. I'm the boss. Yes, I am good enough. Fuck off. Why? Because I say so, because I'm the boss. So yeah, it's in the beginning, it's a lot of challenging and then replacing, challenging and replacing, challenging and replacing. And then eventually it gets to the point where the negative internal critic just kind of dies down. And then all of a sudden you've got that internal cheerleader, which is what you should have had you had healthy, normal parents that were kind and supportive and loving and caring and, all of that. So, yeah, so it's nice. It's quiet. It's peaceful. There's not the constant what if. There's not the constant, okay, what about this and what about that and what, we should be doing that. Oh my gosh, there's a thought, and oh my gosh, it's calm, it's quiet. It's fabulous. It really is. So I would say, again, get with a really good therapist. Start working on the intrusive thoughts. Start working on the self-esteem. Start working on the boundaries. Start working on getting rid of the internal critic. Get rid of the external critic, the external critic, the internal critic, work on that. Yeah, that's what I would say, because yeah, you want your life to be peaceful. It is very peaceful. It's like you can be in the moment. Because when we've got those thoughts going and that critic going, we're not in the moment, we're in our head. And we're either living in the future, or we're living in the past, or we're beating ourselves up for something that we maybe didn't even really do. So, we're never in the moment. So living in the moment is actually very calm and very peaceful, because you can be fully present. And that's what we want. So yeah, get with a good therapist, start working on that. Absolutely. Okay, let's go to the next question. How do I figure out the root of hurt slash triggers? After I figure that out, how do I deal? The triggers are still continued through emails. Okay, so it depends on who we're dealing with here. So if it's a parental one, you're going to want to get with a good trauma therapist. You're going to work on the inner child. You're going to work on the inner child with The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. You're going to write down your triggers. Where are they coming from? Who are they coming from? Who do they sound like if they're just, the internal critic? What are the triggers? What are you smelling? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you feeling? What is the trigger? What is happening? That kind of thing. So you want to figure out all of that, and then you start self-soothing. So remember, our amygdala is stupid. God love it. 3 O's, stupid. It cannot tell the difference between here and now and a thought about a trigger or a real trigger or pretending there's a trigger or an emotional trigger or thought about an emotional trigger or some real or imagined emotional physical trigger that happened in the past. So, the poor amygdala is just like everything's here now, here now, here now, here now. So if somebody sends us an email and they're doing whatever to get at us, right? Poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear, and it's a trigger, then this little guy is going to light up like a Christmas tree, and we're either going to go into full-blown panic attack, right? Because hippocampus, hypothalamus get involved, and they release cortisol. Cortisol floods the body. We get tense. So the shoulders and the ears become one, and then we start taking these puffy little breaths. No oxygen, CO2 exchange. That tells another part of the brain, oh my gosh, we're going to die. We need more energy. So then that tells the adrenal gland that sits on top of the kidneys to release all at once, shaking like a leaf. Racing thoughts, pounding heart. And at this point, puffy little breaths, not going anywhere, not enough oxygen. At this point, we either go into a panic attack, which is, I can't breathe it, oh my, and then we keel over. Or we turn into the Incredible Hulk and we have an anger attack because it's all part of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. That's how this amygdala tries to keep us safe, because the cortisol gets us tense, getting us ready to fight, flight, freeze, so that the predator walks on by, doesn't see us like bunny rabbits do, or fawn, give in to the predator so that we don't get killed. So, and then the anger serves to push people away. If we turn into the Incredible Hulk, they're going to leave us alone. If we're having a panic attack and we're on the ground not being able to breathe, they're going to leave us alone. So it's, yeah. So let me see if I answered that question. Triggers. So you got to figure out what the triggers are and why. And once you figure out what the triggers are, so, okay, this thing triggered me. Okay, this person said it. Okay, how old was I in the past when this trigger happened? Who said it? And you connect the dots. It's a lot of connecting the dots. It really is. So get the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Get the CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Those two are going to help you the most with triggers. So, and get a good therapist. Get a good trauma therapist. That's going to really help. Okay, what type of activities are healthy to hopefully meet healthy people? So when we are wanting to go refill our friend closet. So first of all, you want to stay single. So if you're looking for a romantic partner, please don't. You need to stay single, and you need to figure out who you are, and you need to get to the point where you trust your own gut again, and that takes time. Plus the fact if this is a romantic relationship and you've been discarded, right? Or you figured out that they're, basically Satan spawn and you're leaving, right? Your picker is broken. So you've got to work on you, fix your picker, fix your self-esteem, fix your boundaries, know who you are, and then, and do all the grieving, because, we're grieving the loss of the illusion of who we thought we were in love with. So once you let all that go, now you're ready to maybe start going out and meeting people again. So when you go to meet people, you want to make sure that all of those prerequisites are done. Your self-esteem is rock solid. Your picker is fixed. Your boundaries are in place. You've got your list of deal breakers. What will you not put up with from anybody, right? Friends, romance, bosses, parents, whatever. So have your list of deal breakers. So you're most likely to have success in meeting new friends, and that's really what you're looking for. You're not looking for romance. It's like it just makes me want to tear my considerable amount of hair out when people say, oh, I want to get onto a dating site. Please don't. Please don't, guys. There are so many predators on those dating sites, and in fact, that's where they find most of their victims, because they know that the people that are on the dating sites are desperate, and they know that they can easily manipulate them. The predators have said this over and over and over again, that that's where they love to find their victims. And when I say predators, I mean narcissists. So yeah, don't get on a dating website. Do the things you love. Do the things you love. Remember the things you love, go do those things, and you will find like-minded people. And you're not looking for romance, you're looking for friendship. That's really what a good romance is anyway. It is literally friendship that caught on fire. Meaning, it takes time to know the person. It takes time to understand their little nuances and their peccadillos and everything like that. You're not going to meet Prince Charming and fall in love like in Frozen. Remember Princess Anna and Hans, who turned out to be a rat fink? So, it's not instantaneous. If somebody's pushing, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend within a month or two, ooh, Houston, y'all got a whole bunch of flags there, red flags. Like, watch out for them. It takes time. You want to take a good, solid, long year to get to know each other. And you want to take time before you go diving into bed together. Why? Because the narcissist plans on hooking you with oxytocin. Oxytocin. Remember, this is what bonds babies to moms. It's what bonds couples together. That's why when you have sex, you want to have more sex, especially if it's good. But you know what I'm saying? It's the oxytocin. We get addicted to the oxytocin. We get addicted to those feel-good chemicals that come from physical touch. So if somebody's pushing for physical relationships super fast, and they're pushing for you to be the boyfriend or the girlfriend like within a month or two, put the brakes on it. Put the brakes on it. If it's meant to last, if it's meant to be, it'll wait. If you're worth waiting for. That's basically what you have to remind yourself, is that you are worth waiting for. And if somebody's like, no, it's now or never, Elvis song, it's now or never, you have to say yes right now, and we have to be in a relationship, and we have to be having sex, tell them goodbye. Because you're worth waiting for. You are. And especially having come out of an abusive relationship, you need to make sure that your picker is not still broken, and you have to make sure that your boundaries are in place, your list of deal breakers are in place, and you know what you want. Because your self-esteem should not be coming from other people. It needs to come from you. First and foremost and always. So, there that is. Go do things you love. And the thing that happens is that the abuser takes our ability to know what we love away from us. And so we don't know what we love. Go do what you love. Go do the hobbies that you used to love to do before the relationship. Or go do the things that you always wanted to do that your parents said you could never do. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go do things you've always wanted to do. Go do that. And you will meet like-minded people. But then you're going to have to rely on your gut instincts, trust your gut, as to whether or not the people you're seeing are good people or not. And that requires having worked on self-esteem, and that requires having good boundaries and having your list of deal breakers. So, hope that answered that question. Okay, I think I already answered that one in the holiday one. Why do I miss the toxic friends? I know that they are bad for me, but I need tools in place to remember this when triggers come up. My ex and toxic friends still all hang out like nothing had ever changed with the kids. So when we leave an abuser and we get out of that situation, there's going to be toxic friends that are flying monkeys that side with the abuser. Anybody that is siding with the abuser is toxic. They are, whether that's your family, your friends, whatever. If they're siding with somebody after you've told them this person has been abusive, they're doing this, and this, and they're still siding with them, wash your hands of them. You don't need them. You don't need them. And it does feel very lonely. But what you have to remember is, and I posted a meme on this today, on the Facebook page. When you feel alone or when you're feeling lonely, that is the perfect time to be alone and to work on you. Again, it is not other esteem. So we need to know who we are and what we want in order to go seek like-minded people. If we don't, we're going to just pick the same abusive type of people all over again because the inner child is the one doing the picking, not the adult us. So we need to really work on inner child, self-esteem, boundaries, disease to please, codependency, and get that all handled, figure out what we want, and then go do that. And then we will meet like-minded people. It does feel very lonely. It does. Because, again, if we came from a toxic, dysfunctional family, the toxic friends feel familiar. What you want now is to not feel familiar. You want to feel actually good about yourself and not have the drama and not have the chaos and not have the, oh my gosh, they're siding with my ex, da 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 da. Well, they're not your friends. They're not your friends. So be done with them and work on you, and then go do what you love and find new friends. But do not be afraid of being alone. You will not be alone forever. It feels like forever to a little one. It does. Because remember when we're small, how things feel like they're forever, and then you're an adult and you're like, wow, that was only 5 minutes. Holy cow, that wasn't much at all. But to a child, any amount of time feels like forever. Okay? So you've really got to work on befriending your inner child, loving that inner child, comforting that inner child, and finding friends that are good for both the inner child and the adult you. So get with a good therapist, start working on the inner child issues. Okay. Okay, many people have ugly behavior, sometimes flat out abusive. During lockdown, I realized if I cut ties with all the people with tricky behavior, I would end up alone. Interesting line of questions. How can we keep some tricky people? You don't. Let me just be clear on that. So, tricky. Do you really want to be walking on eggshells the rest of your life? Do you really want to be going, oh my gosh, do I need to watch what I'm saying around this person? Am I going to get called names for my, politics? Am I going to get called names for my religion? Am I going to get called names for my whatever? So if somebody is being quote unquote tricky and you're feeling like you're walking around eggshells with them, get rid of them. They're toxic. Get rid of them. Friends should be like putting on a comfortable pair of slippers and a nice, comfortable old robe. Seriously, it should be comfortable. It should be no drama. It should be acceptance. It should be friendship. So in that vein, this week I'm doing the one on why don't my family and friends understand what's happening, but I think the week after, I think I need to talk about what constitutes a good friendship, because I think a lot of people have got some very strange ideas about what a friend is. So a friend is not toxic. So we're going to be talking about that in 2 weeks. So this week I'm going to be talking about why family and friends don't get it. And then the week after, I want to talk about friendship, because friends are important, don't get me wrong, but the wrong friends are deadly. So let's talk about that. So let me see if I answered that question. So you don't keep them. You don't keep the tricky people. I cannot tell you the number of people I had to defriend during this last 8 months, and I'm okay with it, because it's like if you're going to sit there and say horrible things and be vicious and cruel to other people, I don't need you in my life. My whole life mission is to get people to love themselves. I don't need a quote-unquote friend tearing down somebody else over something that they have no business tearing them down over. Does that make sense? Or having to walk on eggshells around a person because, oh gosh, I don't want them mad at me because I feel this way about this particular subject. No, I'm sorry. If this person is going to have a problem with it and they cannot accept me, then we're done. And if you're harming somebody else, fuck you, we're done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you've got to have your own personal set of morals, and you've got to have your boundaries. What will you not put up with? I do not put up with anybody who tears down another friend. And that did happen over these last 8 months. And when they did that, I didn't even give them an explanation. I was like, you have shown me who you are. Goodbye. Delete. Their loss, you know? And then I would contact the person they were harming, and I would ask them if they were okay, and then we would talk, and we would, that whole thing. And of course, I'm talking like people that were not really close to me anyway. There's kind of like, networking groups and things like that. So I won't put up with that. I won't. I'm sorry. I lived my first 18 years of my life having my father abuse me. I am not going to stand by and watch somebody else abuse somebody else. It's not going to happen. You don't like it? Tough shit. And it's like, and you're wondering why I defriended you? Oh, maybe it's because you called that other person a whole bunch of really horrible names, and you did it over politics or religion. And no, not okay. So no, you don't keep the tricky friends because they're not friends. They're not friends. Let's be very clear about that. Friends are supportive. Friends will support you. Not always agree with you. Trust me, I've got friends that I do not agree with, but we do not sit there and call each other names, nor do we sit there and drag each other down for our politics or our religion or anything else, And if we start getting into a discussion about it and it's clear that we're on opposite ends, usually what we do is go, okay, I don't agree with you, but you know what? Let's just, you have your belief about this. I have my belief about this. I love you. Let's do coffee next week. And we leave it at that. Because that's how civilized, normal, healthy people do. But abusive, dysfunctional people have to have everybody think exactly the way they do. And if somebody doesn't think the way that they do, well, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, you. What does that sound like? See where I'm going with that? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. You don't need them. You don't need them. You don't need them. Trust me. There is a whole world out there. There's a whole world out there. And yes, there's a lot of fucking assholes out there. But you know what? There's also a lot of really awesome people. Allow yourself to find them. That's what I say. Get rid of the ones that you don't need. All right. It does feel alone, but again, please see my previous answers. When you're feeling alone, start working on you. That's really the best thing. How to sneak in time for ourselves at family gatherings. That's hard to do because family gatherings are basically about, being with family. So if you're overwhelmed or whatever, just tell them you're going out for a walk or, excuse yourself. Hey, I got to run to the store or whatever, and it can be overwhelming. It really can. Now, you see, me, I'm a little social animal here, and I love hanging out with the fam, my family, not my parents because they're both dead, but with my dad, no, I never wanted to go home because it was miserable. But like with, the great nieces or the great nephews or whatever, that I love. That is so much fun, and you can't hardly drag me away from them. But, if you need a break, because not everybody's, an extrovert like I am. So if you need a break, go take a walk, and you don't need to make an excuse either. It's like, hey, I got to go take a walk. I need some fresh air. I need some alone time. And you go. If it's a healthy family, they won't have a problem with that. If it's a dysfunctional family, they will. In which case, you just slip out without saying anything, and you go take a walk. Or if you have to give them an excuse, oh, I got to run to the store, whatever. And you go take a walk, or whatever. Do you see where I'm going with that? Remember, you're an adult. You don't need to explain yourself. And abusers love to make us over-explain ourselves. But if you're in a healthy family gathering, you can just, hey, I'm going for a walk, and then go for a walk. Or you don't even say anything and just go for a walk and come back. Well, where'd you go? I went for a walk. That's all you need to say. So it's about self-esteem. Guys, when I say everything boils down to self-esteem, I'm not kidding you. It really, honest to God, boils down to self-esteem. If you have good self-esteem, you have the certainty to know that you have the right to excuse yourself and go take a walk, or not say anything and go take a walk, because you do not owe an explanation to anybody. So work on self-esteem for sure. Okay, let's see. Okay, why are some narcs physically attractive and more charming than healthy partners? Healthy is so boring for some reason. Well, there are somatic narcissists. So somatic narcissists are the ones that are very concerned with physical appearance. Very concerned. Like they're the ones that, go out and work out at the gym and have got the flat stomachs and the six packs and the perfect face and the perfect hair and the perfect hair, everything. And, they wear the Armani suits and yada, 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 yada. So, yeah, they're pretty, but when you have to deal with them, they're abusive like any other narcissist, and they will tend to pick on the person's physicality. So somatic narcissists tend to do more of the you're not perfect enough kind of discard. You're old, you're wrinkled, you're fat, you're this, you're that, you're not buff enough, you're not, whatever. So, boring is interesting. So that says to me that there is a little bit of loving that drama, loving that chaos, loving that somatic thing. That is a self-esteem issue. So in reality, we could be dating, Gerard Butler from the 300, right? That still doesn't make us attractive just because we are dating Gerard Butler from the 300, right? So, but in our minds, somehow we get it messed up that, oh, if I've got this really attractive spouse, that somehow I'm now really attractive. No, it doesn't work like that. So what you're really looking for in a healthy relationship is respect. Respect and love are one and the same. If you respect someone, you love them. If you love them, you respect them. And that's really what's important. Again, a healthy relationship, whether it is a friendship or it is a romantic partner, should be like putting on a really comfortable robe and a really comfortable pair of slippers. And yeah, there is excitement there. There is, but it should not be this up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down drama. So when somebody says to me, oh, that's boring. Okay, what's your childhood like? What was mom and dad like? How much drama was there? Where did you learn this? Have you come to the conclusion that maybe that's not normal? So the truth of the matter is, healthy relationships are not boring. They're not. But in comparison to a dysfunctional relationship, it feels boring in the beginning because there's not all that intermittent positive rewards. So it's learning what healthy behavior is. It's learning what a healthy relationship is. So Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker, CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. If there was a lot of drama at home, The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Where did this idea that calm is boring come from? Calm is actually very sexy. So, because you can have such amazing, deep, meaningful, real conversations and deep, meaningful, real sex. I mean, I swear to God, if there's a respect there, if there is respect and love and respect, and there's a really good connection and it's calm, it's mind-blowingly good. Seriously, trust me on that. I mean, geez Louise, I've been with John for 26 years, 27 years. So yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, don't you guys get... No, we learn something new about each other every damn day. Why? Because we want to, and we like each other, and there's respect there. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just put a relationship on automatic and expect it to survive. It takes work. It does. But relationships are also not always going to be the kind of weird fireworks that we had growing up. Because remember, my family was dysfunctional. And so when I was a teenager, yeah, I thought that that's what a healthy relationship was excitement and this and that and fighting and yearning and struggling and, make them love me and da-da-da-da. No. No. With a side of no, an extra helping of no. No. So yeah, you got to realize that calm is not equal to boring. Calm is probably equal to healthy. So we're going to talk more about that in 2 weeks when I talk about what a healthy friendship is, which is also going to be talking about what a healthy relationship is. So, oh my goodness, I'm going long on this one. All right, so those are those questions. Let's get to the other questions. How do you handle it when someone suddenly blocks you on social media? Well, it depends on how close you are to them. It depends on what they mean to you. If they're an acquaintance, you let it go, because honestly, social media is not real, guys. I mean, it is real, but we place way too much emphasis on this, and we worry so much about what somebody we've seen once or met once or maybe haven't met at all thinks about us. That's other esteem. Social media is all about other esteem. How many likes can I get? How many thumbs up can I get? How many, posts or reposts or twits or retwits or whatever the fuck that's called. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all other esteem. That's not healthy. If somebody blocks you, okay. All right, so you did something that pissed them off, or they perceived that you did something that pissed them off. If you're close, they'll reach out. This is what a healthy person would do if you're close. They'll reach out and say, hey, you did this, that, and the other thing. Now, in the example that I gave before, when somebody was attacking somebody else and just being vile, I wouldn't even bother reaching out to them because it wouldn't make any difference. They've shown me who they are. They're abusive. I'm not going to have anything further to do with them. Goodbye, delete. So, and we know what we've done, usually. And if you don't, then, okay, they took offense at something, but do you really count on them being a close friend? If they're just a number on your account, don't worry about it, But if it's somebody that you've previously had a deep relationship with, yeah, you could reach out to them and just be like, hey, I see that you defriended me. I was just wondering what happened. You could do that. But if they come back with a bunch of vitriol, block them. Be done. Okay. I have an abusive dad, and when I make a mistake, my mom compares me to dad. Oh, that's so not good. So comparison is abusive. It's verbally abusive. It is what dysfunctional families indulge in. And don't take it personally. Get with a good therapist. I don't know how old you are. So when you can, get with a good therapist, start working on self-esteem. And we all pick up fleas from our abusive parent. We do. And so when we recognize the fleas, the best thing you can do is get with a good therapist or start working on them yourself. Here are the behaviors I don't like. Here's the behaviors that remind me of dad. Here's the things that I do that are like dad. Okay, I need to work on this. This is how I'm going to work on it. And it's mindfulness. A lot of it is mindfulness. A lot of it is stopping ourselves before we say or do something that reminds us of the abuser and being able to go, oh, no, that's how dad would handle that. Nope, not interested. Thanks for playing. Not going to do that because I don't want to be that person. So there's that. Get with a good therapist. Okay. So are narcissists really willing to kill someone? Yes, the dark triads are. And those are the domestic violence cases that you will see. Those are all dark triads. So those are like the Chris Watts case up in Colorado. Those are dark triads. They're psychopaths with narcissism, with control freaks. So yeah, they do kill people. They absolutely do. And I did a show on that. It was years ago, I think, when I did the dark triad stalking one. I think I did one sometime this year. But I've done previous shows on that. So if you're interested in it, just go back to my older shows and find that. But yeah, they do kill. They can kill. They are psychotic. That's why when you are being stalked by one, you want to immediately get a restraining order on them. You want to alert your police station, have extra patrols come out by your house. You want to get cameras on your house. You want to, make sure you keep yourself as safe as possible, take self-defense courses, take a concealed carry course, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, they are dangerous. Absolutely. Never underestimate them because narcissists will want to win at all costs. And that means even going to the extent of killing their target so that they win. Because they're crazy. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. I figured out that my mom is abusive. I want to stand up for myself when she tries to humiliate me in front of the whole family. I feel bad having her do that and gray rocking. What else to do? Go no contact. Just go no contact. If somebody is dedicated to using you as the scapegoat and embarrassing you in the front of the family, go no contact. Have nothing more to do with them. Get with a good trauma therapist. Start working on self-esteem. Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker. Don't put up with it. Don't be where that person can be so that they are not going to get a chance to humiliate you. Don't allow it. Go no contact. All right, kids, I'm tired, and I've been going for 45 minutes, so I'm going to call it good. So this week on We Need to Talk, it is going to be about friends and family. Why don't they get it? What the hell is going on here? So I want to talk about that. That'll be on Sunday at noon, which will be 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. Have a great, wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you guys on Sunday. Bye.